Hi everybody, this is Michael Van Horn, the Social Chef. Today I'm going to be making some meatballs. You just got done seeing Isa Sosa. She made a gourmet meatball, which was fantastic, made with lamb, and she had a curry cream sauce over top of it with some melted feta cheese. That was unbelievable. Just melted in your mouth. My meatball is a little bit different. Mine's your everyday meatball. For Sunday dinner, maybe you want to serve them during the week, maybe you want to make them and put them inside of a sandwich, make a meatball hoagie or something. So I'm going to get started today, and what I use in mine is I use 3 different types of meat. If there's one of the types of meat that I'm using that maybe you don't like, you can substitute it and take it out and just add more of the other. But I use a pound of each, of ground veal, of ground pork, and ground hamburger. I use some breadcrumbs. I'm going to use about 6 cups of breadcrumbs. I take that out, I use fresh Italian bread, and I just pull some of the bread out in rather large courses. It looks like this, okay? And then what I do is I soak it really well in water for about 40 minutes. And then I take it and I drain it out really good. Squeeze it dry, even lay it on some paper towels just to extract the rest of it out. I use about 3 cloves of minced garlic. I use about 1/4 cup of Italian parsley chopped up very fine. I use some cheese. You can use whichever cheese you like. I like to use Parmesan cheese, not Parmesan or Reggiano. I just use a Parmesan cheese, and I grate that up fresh. About 1/4 cup to about 1/4 cup of cheese. I use a little bit of diced onion, about 1/3 cup of yellow sweet yellow onion, and a little bit of margarine and a little bit of salt. And then once I mix that all together, I put 2 eggs. Beat them up really good. Put 2 eggs in here. Mix it up, and then what I do is I form my meatballs. You make them as big as you like. I like mine nice sized meatball. Now, Bailey, come here. So my sous chef, Bailey, come, say hi to everybody. So my sous chef today has been by my heels all day smelling the veal and hamburger and the pork, and so yesterday he had it in with Isa. Isa kept feeding him her meatballs. He loved them. So I'm going to get started here. I'll mix this all together. I got everything prepped up. So we'll be back and you'll see what it all looks like. Alright, so I added my bread. Add my Italian parsley. And remember, this is a much smaller batch. I live alone here and I am not having guests today. Put my garlic in there. You're going to use 3 cloves of garlic. About 1/3 cup of minced yellow onion. We're going to take egg. You're going to use 2 eggs. I'm just using 1, and maybe that even wouldn't be necessary, but put that in. I'm going to use a little pinch of salt in here, and a little bit of dried marjoram. I'm going to mix this really well. This is the fun part. This is where you bring your kids in, and you let your kids get involved. Mix this up really good. You want to make sure you get all that bread, so you don't want big clumps of bread in there, so you want to mix this really well. Just put in a little bit of grated cheese. Again, I just use Parmesan cheese. This is really good in here. A little bit of fresh pepper. Already got our salt in there. Again, you're going to mix that up. Get that cheese going right through there. It's going to melt in your mouth. Boy, a little bit of Sunday sauce, a little ragu, marinara sauce. Alright, so we got our meatballs formed. Makes no difference the size. You make them as big as you want them. I like my meatballs a little bit bigger. And I'm now going to deep fry these until they get nice and brown. Meatballs are done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in the oven about 350. I'm going to finish them off in there. I want to make sure that they're baked all the way through. And then you can throw them into your pot of sauce for the day. Let them cook in there and let all that flavor go into your sauce. It'd be fantastic. So I'm going to put these in the oven and we'll be back soon. Alright, we're back, and our meatballs are done. But I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. I decided that I'm going to have a meatball sandwich tonight. something a little bit different. I typically don't have a sandwich for dinner, but it seemed like a good thing to do today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my meatballs and I'm going to cut them in half. Somebody smelled the meatballs. Bailey's on my heel. So I'm going to take these meatballs, I'm going to cut them in half, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour my favorite marinara sauce over it, and then I'm going to take a little bit of fresh cheese, some mozzarella cheese, and I'm going to put it right on top, and I'm going to bake it for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to put it in some bread. So I think we won't be able to fit these all in here. We'll put what we can in. Perfect. All right. So we have plenty of meatballs, and I'll just come in here, gently pour some of this marinara. I use my favorite marinara. Just get it right in a jar. Okay. And then we'll come in. We'll put a little bit of mozzarella cheese on here. Just break that up like that. Put it right over top. Don't need to be fancy because that's going to melt. And that's going to go in some bread. And what I did is I took the bread that I had left over from making my making the meatballs. I didn't want to throw it out, so I saved the outside of it, and I'll fill that up with these meatballs. Make a meatball sandwich. I'll have that with a little arugula salad, and that will be my dinner. So there you have it. I'll put this in the oven at about 350, 375 for about 30 minutes. And a meatball sandwich. I'll show you what it looks like in a few minutes.